The best part about waking up is Ayanami in your cup. Oh, the joys of having a GameFly account is the fact that I can talk about multiple video games in a week, and you guys are going to be wondering, how the hell could you play that many games? It's because I've got a GameFly account, which means that I'm going to have one main game that I'm going to keep out, which is basically the game that I'm going to play to the end, which right now is Red Dead Redemption. And the other disc that I send back to GameSpot is going to be the one I'm going to be swapping out for to play through and sample multiple titles. That way I can figure out which games I want to play through till the end after I play Red Dead Redemption. So far the list goes in 2 games, Batman Arkham Asylum and Sin and Punishment Star Successor. I don't know why that title is so hard to say. I'll usually say Sin and Punishment 2, but I know that technically isn't correct because that isn't really the title. It's one of those with one of the funny little subtitles on the bottom instead of just putting the number 2 like everybody wants them to. Because I think part of the thing is lots of people don't know that there's actually a game called Sin and Punishment that was amazing for the N64 in Japan because it never came out in the US, except just recently when they released it on the Wii store or whatever, and you could pick up the beautiful, beautiful shooter game. It's an on-rail shooter. I guess that isn't the technical term. Some people have lectured me for saying it's not an on-rail shooter because you can float around and stuff. But basically the Sin and Punishment games are made by the developer Treasure, which are well known for Gunstar Heroes. And for anybody who has played Gunstar Heroes, they know exactly what Treasure is capable of as far as these roller coaster type levels where things are blowing up all over the place. You can't believe what's going on. You can't believe you're successfully managing to dodge all this stuff. There's explosions to the left, explosions to the right, explosions in front of you. Everything is just exploding and you're just sitting there with your tongue hanging out going, I can't believe that I'm surviving all of this crap. And that is exactly the feeling that you get with Sin and Punishment Star Successor if you play it on hard, which I decided to do because I played it on easy for a while and I went, you know what, this is a treasure game. A treasure game is meant to be frustrating. So you know what, forget all this. I'm going to do it on the hardcore difficulty. I'm going to be hardcore and I am going to face this game like the man that I am. And the thing is, when you play it on hard, oh, you have no idea what you're in for. It is so much fun. There's enough checkpoints that it keeps itself from being too frustrating because it's not like you have to continuously keep going through an entire stage without dying. There's typically enough checkpoints where if you die a lot like me, you can still pretty much make progress. It's just a matter of recognizing the patterns and following them through. But damn, these boss fights, I tell you what, there's this boss fight in this game that I was stuck on all last night, and I wouldn't stop playing the game until I had beaten that boss. It's this giant tortoise monster thing. This is only the second big boss in the game, so it isn't like this is the highlight of the difficulty that this game has to offer. But you face up against this thing, and I swear, there is just this tension after a while. It's like you're looking at the boss is looking at you, the boss is taking up the entire screen, throwing crap at you, and you're just like this little man on the screen, and you just feel this. It's like, oh yeah, it's on. Bring it on, boss. Yeah, you ain't got nothing on me. You better show me what the hell you can do, because you know what? I am going to freak you up coming up here. That's right, I am going to charge up all my weapons, I'm going to get as many power-ups as I can, and I am going to freak you up. And that's how serious I get. I start talking to my screen with my controller in hand, and I'm going, yeah, that's right, boss. Yeah, you like it when I use the machine gun, don't you, you son of a bitch? Yeah, I mean, it gets creepy almost, because when I get into a game, I get into it. I start talking to the screen, and then you get that moment when the boss finally explodes, and you can't help, even if there isn't any actual sound of the boss moaning in pain, you're just imagining it in your head. It's like, no, I failed. And I'm just sitting here basking in the glory of it all, and you can't help but go, yes, that's right. I owned you. I owned you, and now you are dead. And now all of your brothers are going to be dead because I'm going to face them next. Yeah, and it's just that creepy as I'm making it sound. The fun thing with this game, it's just so gorgeous. The amount of enemies that they managed to cram on screen for a Wii game. And I know this is kind of an insult because actually the Wii has a stronger hardware than the PS2. But most Wii games, you come to expect the graphics to kind of look like crap. Or at least I have. And I'm looking at this game, this game actually looks really damn good. And it really shows off the fact that you can actually do, not next-gen graphics on the Wii, or current-gen I should say. You can't really do 360 or PS3 quality graphics. But you can give something to the player to look at that's visually stimulating. And so many developers just kind of half-ass it and go, whatever, the Wii is for party games. No, the Wii is just as capable as pulling off hardcore games as any of the other systems. It's just that developers like to overlook that because they go, oh, it's the system that's aimed at middle-aged women who just want to play Wii Fit or whatever. No, screw you. Treasure brought us a great game where you shoot the hell out of stuff. Why can't the rest of you give us something at least that good? Instead, you give us, I don't know, you give us Metroid Other M, which I've seen videos of it. I haven't actually played it, so I can't commentate on it. All I know is that it ain't Metroid Prime, is from what I've been hearing. I can't place judgment. I'm sorry, I shouldn't do that. Because I did that whole commentary video against the X-Play review for Metroid Other M, which honestly, it was more in comment to the review than it was in comment to the controversy about the sexism in Metroid Other M. From what I've been seeing, I honestly don't think it's sexist what they did to the Samus character, and I think that Samus really didn't have all that much of a character to begin with, but that game doesn't have good writing. It doesn't have an interesting plot. From everything that I've seen, I will place my final judgments for when I actually do play the game, but for now it's kind of like one of those things where when it was coming out I was kind of like, ooh, there's a new Metroid game coming out. Cool, I love Metroid Prime. I didn't get to play Metroid Prime 2 and 3, but you know, Metroid is something that is generally a fan favorite, and it's something that is typically masterful, and they delivered on something which is universally seen in the eyes of lots of people as being not so masterful. So Nintendo has been kind of slipping up as of lately, and it's good to see, though, when those rare gems come to the surface that made it worthwhile to own a Wii. And I do think that Sin and Punishment Second Star Successor, whatever the hell this game is called, is one of those titles. It's well worth checking out if you're a hardcore gamer. I wouldn't suggest it if you're just casual and you're jumping into something. For one thing, I've heard the game is extremely short. So unless you're into like doing the high scores or playing it on the hardest difficulty and getting the most out of enjoyment for it, it's probably not worth buying. But definitely if you have a GameFly account or anything, check it out. It is so much fun. If you love arcade-like shooters, like on-rail shooters, you're going to love the hell out of this thing. And I know I love arcade games like that. I love playing like the little Gun Con, the Lost World Jurassic Park game that they have at like every single arcade. I love that kind of stuff, and this is the sort of thing that the Wii is made for, because the motion controls on this, you can play it with the GameCube controller and the classic controller, but honestly, this game is great with the nunchuck and the Wii remote, which is a lot more than I can say about pretty much any other Wii game on the market. This actually feels good with the motion controls. Just like, you know, Ghost Recon or some other games, this really does feel like, okay, this is for the Wii. This is something that people buy the Wii for this type of an experience. So definitely check it out. It gets my thumbs up recommendation. Just like everything that I've been reviewing lately has gotten my thumbs up recommendation. But what can I say? I am just an enthusiastic person, and I love talking about things that make me enthusiastic. Things that are not making me so enthusiastic, I tend not to talk about as much, but you know, maybe someday they will get my attention. Someday. Things that piss me off are just, you know, not as worthy of talking about. Alrighty, so I will see you later, my younglings. Yes, you are now officially my younglings. And I will be signing out. Kiss the camera. Mwah. Peace, love, and oh look, my shirt.